What if I told you that by the time this prayer ends, something could shift so powerfully in your life that even your bank account would testify to it? This isn't just a prayer. It's a metaphysical alignment. You didn't stumble here by chance. This prayer was looking for you. And once you release it with faith, expect financial doors to open. Do you know that prayer is not just talking into the air? Prayer is energy released into the supernatural. It carries power, it carries vision, and it carries results. The moment you agree with the words of faith, the atmosphere begins to rearrange itself around you. Right now, as you listen, your mind is shifting from scarcity to abundance, and heaven itself is preparing to respond. Stay with me, because before this moment ends, you'll be equipped to command blessings in places where lack once lived. The power of prayer is not only spiritual, but also metaphysical, because it operates beyond the realm of religious ritual and enters into the laws that govern energy, thought, and manifestation. When you begin to understand prayer in this way, it no longer feels like a mere repetition of words, but like a force that travels into unseen dimensions and begins to work on your behalf. Prayer carries frequency, and that frequency aligns with abundance when spoken with intention and faith. This is why many people who pray with vision and expectation begin to notice tangible shifts in their lives, especially in areas like finances, opportunities, and provision. The metaphysical essence of prayer is that it transcends the natural, creating a bridge between what you desire and what exists in the invisible realm waiting to be unlocked. When someone says that prayer is the language of faith, it also means that prayer is the key that activates the unseen laws of prosperity and causes them to work in alignment with your needs. Prayer shapes your inner state, and your inner state shapes the outer reality you live in. If you are constantly weighed down with thoughts of scarcity, lack, and insufficiency, then everything around you begins to align with that energy, making it harder to rise above. But when you engage in prayer, you begin to shift that vibration. You move from an inner state of despair to one of hope, from lack to expectation, from emptiness to fullness. This inner shift is not invisible to the universe. It resonates outward, attracting the resources, the connections, and the ideas that you need. That is the metaphysical power of prayer. It is not about begging the heavens for mercy, but aligning yourself with the flow of abundance that was already present, waiting for your agreement. The world responds not only to action, but also to intention, and prayer merges the two. When you pray with strong intention, you focus your thoughts, emotions, and spirit toward a single outcome. This focus channels your energy, and energy attracts energy. That is why a prayer spoken with faith carries more weight than endless complaints or fearful thoughts. You are not just thinking of what you lack. You are declaring what you receive. And those declarations open the channels for provision. Financial blessings do not simply appear out of coincidence. They are drawn toward the space you create with your words and your faith. Each prayer builds a vibration of expectancy, and that expectancy is what makes doors swing open in ways you could not have planned. Another dimension to this truth is that prayer taps into the creative power given to every individual. When you pray, you are not adding something foreign to your life. You are activating what was already within you. The seeds of abundance, breakthrough, and prosperity were planted in you from the beginning. Prayer is the water that causes those seeds to germinate and rise to the surface. You may not always see immediate results, but every prayer sows into the soil of your destiny. And just like a farmer who plants without seeing overnight growth, your faith assures you that harvest is inevitable. The metaphysical law here is that what you focus on expands, and prayer sharpens your focus toward provision instead of lack. This is why financial miracles often come after moments of deep and sincere prayer. Something in the unseen responds when you declare with faith, because you are not only speaking to God, you are also speaking to the very energy of creation itself. The energy of prayer aligns your life with abundance and rearranges circumstances to support you. This is why many people, after releasing a focused prayer, find unexpected money appearing, debts resolved, or sudden opportunities arising. The prayer was the key, the intention was the fuel, and the faith was the door through which abundance entered. It is a metaphysical reality, not just a spiritual one. Faith-filled words act as seeds planted in the unseen realm, which manifest into financial blessings, because words are not just sounds, but carriers of power, intention, and energy. When a person speaks words with faith, those words are not empty, they are infused with belief, conviction, and authority. In the spiritual and metaphysical dimension, words operate like seeds that go into the ground. A seed may look small and insignificant at the moment it is planted, but it carries within it the blueprint of a tree, the potential of fruit, and the promise of multiplication. In the same way, when words of faith are spoken, they enter the unseen realm and begin to grow, producing results that eventually show up in the natural world. This is why every declaration, affirmation, and prayer matters. They are not wasted. They are investments into your future outcomes. When you speak words of faith concerning finances, you align yourself with the law of sowing and reaping. Just as a farmer cannot expect a harvest without first planting, a believer cannot expect provision without first sowing words of belief into the atmosphere. Words that declare lack, fear, or doubt are like planting weeds that choke growth, but words of abundance, breakthrough, and divine supply plant the kind of seeds that produce financial increase. Many people do not realize that their financial reality is often a reflection of the words they consistently release into their environment. If you repeatedly say, "I am always broke," or "money never stays with me," those words plant seeds of scarcity that eventually manifest as financial struggle. But when you begin to declare with faith, "I walk in abundance," "my needs are met," or "provision flows toward me," you are planting seeds of prosperity that must in time bear fruit. The power of faith-filled words lies not just in positive thinking, but in the authority they carry. Faith gives weight to your words because it connects them to a higher source of power. Without faith, words are like empty shells, but when spoken with conviction, they become alive and creative. These words do not vanish into the air. They penetrate the unseen spiritual realm and begin to form realities that align with what was spoken. This is why prayers and declarations carry so much influence. Because they are more than affirmations, they are spiritual decrees backed by belief. Every financial breakthrough, every unexpected opportunity, and every provision begins with a word planted in the unseen. Another important dimension is that words set the direction of your life. Just as a rudder steers a ship, the words you release steer the course of your destiny. If you want to move toward abundance, you cannot speak in the language of lack. Instead, you must train your tongue to align with the future you desire. This requires intentionality, because words are often spoken carelessly, but the spiritual laws attached to them are always active. When you speak faith-filled words about your finances, You begin to guide your life toward opportunities, connections, and breakthroughs that match what you declared. The unseen responds not to fear, but to faith, and words become the carriers of that faith. It is also important to see that faith-filled words are multiplied, not just added. A single seed planted in fertile soil does not return as one seed. It grows into a tree that produces many more seeds. Likewise, a single declaration of faith can return multiplied results. One prayer of provision can release streams of income. One declaration of abundance can attract multiple opportunities. And one seed of faith can create a harvest that overflows into every area of your life. The unseen realm honors the principle of multiplication, and faith-filled words are the triggers that activate it. Finally, the manifestation of financial blessings through words requires patience, persistence, and consistency. Just as a farmer does not dig up his seed the next day to check its progress, you must trust that once you have spoken, the seed is already working. The unseen realm does not operate on human timing, but on divine timing. Faith keeps you expectant, even when there are no immediate results, and this expectation itself keeps the soil fertile. In time, the financial blessings appear, sometimes suddenly, sometimes gradually, but always as a result of the seeds that were planted. Every declaration, every prayer, every word of faith carries the potential to transform your finances, because words are not empty. They are living seeds that manifest abundance when spoken with conviction. Prayer shifts your mindset from lack to overflow, attracting prosperity into your life, because it begins by changing the inner atmosphere before it changes the outer reality. The human mind is constantly processing thoughts, and those thoughts become the foundation of how you experience the world. If your thoughts are dominated by fear, worry, or lack, then your decisions, your actions, and even your opportunities will reflect that scarcity mindset. Prayer interrupts that cycle by taking your focus off limitation and turning it toward possibility. When you pray, you lift your mind beyond immediate circumstances and into alignment with divine provision. This shift in focus is powerful because what you focus on expands. A mind centered on lack will see lack everywhere, but a mind centered on abundance will begin to recognize opportunities that were always there but overlooked. When you engage in prayer, especially prayer filled with faith, your words and thoughts create new patterns within your subconscious. These patterns begin to reprogram the way you see money, provision, and prosperity. Instead of constantly feeling unworthy, anxious, or undeserving, prayer builds an inner image of sufficiency and overflow. That image is essential because every external result first begins as an internal picture. A person who sees themselves as poor, regardless of how much money they make, will always find themselves struggling. But a person who has embraced the mindset of overflow will consistently attract resources and ideas to support that image. Prayer is the tool that reinforces this inner vision until it becomes a reality. The metaphysical principle at work here is that your mindset is magnetic. The energy you release through your thoughts and emotions draws similar energy back to you. If you constantly think, "There's never enough," you magnetize experiences that confirm it. But when prayer shifts you into declaring, "My cup runs over," you start to attract situations that validate abundance. This is why so many people testify that after seasons of prayer, unexpected financial opportunities appear, debts are cleared, or creative ideas for income surface. Prayer has the ability to tune your mind into the frequency of prosperity, and once tuned, your life begins to harmonize with that frequency. Another layer is that prayer produces peace, and peace is fertile ground for prosperity. Worry blocks clarity, fear clouds judgment, and anxiety limits your ability to recognize solutions. But when you pray, peace enters, and that peace allows you to think clearly, act decisively, and seize opportunities. Prosperity is not only about money entering your life. It is also about you being positioned to handle it well. Prayer strengthens your confidence and clears away the mental noise that often keeps people stuck in cycles of financial struggle. In a peaceful mindset, you see doors opening where others see walls. You hear ideas where others hear silence. You recognize solutions where others remain confused. Prayer also shifts your language, and your language shapes your life. A mindset of lack produces complaints, fear-driven conversations, and declarations of insufficiency, all of which reinforce scarcity. But a mindset of overflow nurtured through prayer produces gratitude, positive expectation, and faith-filled words. These words themselves carry creative power, reinforcing the new reality you are stepping into. Every time you say, "I am blessed," "provision flows to me," or "I walk in overflow," you are strengthening the mindset of abundance. Prayer empowers you to keep speaking these truths until they become part of your natural identity. The transformation from lack to overflow is not an external event alone. It is primarily an internal shift that prayer ignites. As your mindset changes, your actions follow. You begin to pursue opportunities with boldness, manage resources with wisdom, and give generously because you no longer fear lack. The energy of overflow attracts more overflow. What once seemed impossible financially begins to unfold naturally, because your entire being is aligned with abundance. Prayer does more than ask for prosperity. It prepares you to receive it by shifting your mindset. This alignment with abundance not only brings financial blessings, but also sustains them, creating a cycle of prosperity that continues to multiply. The unseen spiritual laws respond to spoken faith declarations, because words are not neutral. They carry weight, energy, and authority in both the natural and the supernatural. From the beginning of creation, it was words that set things into motion. The unseen realm is governed by laws just as real as gravity. But these laws respond not to fear or doubt, but to words spoken in faith. When a person speaks words filled with conviction, those words release a frequency that resonates beyond what the eyes can see in the spiritual order. A declaration is not just sound. It is a command that activates forces waiting to align circumstances with what has been spoken. Every time you declare provision, abundance, or breakthrough with unwavering faith, you are issuing an instruction that unseen laws are obligated to respond to. This is why prayer without faith feels empty, while prayer with faith produces results. The spoken word becomes the bridge between what is invisible and what is visible. The unseen realm operates on agreement. And when you speak words of faith, you agree with the divine promises of provision. That agreement compels the spiritual laws of abundance to move resources, people, and opportunities into alignment with your declaration. Even when nothing seems to shift immediately, the unseen is already rearranging itself in response to what was spoken. This principle explains why words of fear and negativity also manifest. If you declare, "I can't make it," or "I'll never have enough," the unseen realm responds to that as well, drawing in conditions that match the frequency of those declarations. The law itself is neutral, but the faith or fear behind your words determines the result. Spiritual laws are constant and unchanging. Just as a seed planted in soil must eventually grow when conditions are right, A word planted in faith must bear fruit in its due season. The unseen realm is like fertile ground, and your declarations are the seeds. The condition of your heart, the conviction of your faith, and the consistency of your words determine the harvest. If you plant doubt one day and faith the next, the soil becomes confused, delaying results. But if you continue to speak with unwavering faith, the unseen law of manifestation brings what you declared into your reality. There is also a creative element at work. The spoken word carries the power to create structure where there was none, to bring order into chaos, and to call forth what does not yet exist. This is why people often testify that after making consistent declarations, unexpected phone calls, financial opportunities, or new doors of favor opened up. What they spoke with faith began to shape unseen pathways that later became visible opportunities. The laws of the Spirit respond to the authority behind words. And authority is released when faith is present. Faith gives substance to your words, turning them from wishes into decrees that the unseen cannot ignore. Declarations also position your own mind and body to align with the reality you have spoken. When you declare abundance, your subconscious begins to believe it, your decisions begin to reflect it, and your behavior starts to support it. This alignment accelerates the manifestation process because the unseen realm not only shifts around you, but also works through you. The spiritual laws respond more quickly when your words, thoughts, and actions are in harmony. Patience plays a vital role in this process because the laws of the Spirit, like the laws of nature, work on divine timing. A farmer does not doubt the soil because the seed takes time to sprout. In the same way, declarations may not manifest instantly, but faith holds firm, knowing the unseen is already at work. Every declaration spoken in faith becomes a contract with the spiritual laws that govern abundance, and those laws cannot be broken. They must produce what was spoken, and they will, as long as the one who declared does not cancel them with doubt or negativity. Words of faith are not empty. They are forces that command the unseen realm to deliver visible results. When you pray with focus and vision, you create a magnetic pull for resources and opportunities because your intention becomes so clear and concentrated that it aligns with the unseen laws of attraction and manifestation. Prayer is more than speaking words. It is directing your inner energy toward a specific reality and holding that vision until it begins to materialize. When your prayers lack focus, they are like scattered seeds thrown into the wind. But when your prayers are concentrated, they are like seeds planted deeply into fertile soil, destined to take root and grow. Focused prayer gives shape to your desires, and vision provides the picture of what you expect, allowing both your spirit and the unseen realm to cooperate in bringing it forth. The mind is constantly producing thoughts, and many of these thoughts are unfocused and conflicting, which is why results can seem inconsistent. Prayer with vision eliminates confusion by fixing your heart and mind on one direction. Instead of saying vague requests like, "I want to be blessed," a focused prayer might be, "I see myself free of debt, living in abundance, using my resources to bless others." That specific vision becomes a clear target for your energy, and it creates alignment in your words, your emotions, and your actions. The unseen realm responds to clarity, because clarity is evidence of faith. A blurred vision communicates uncertainty, but a detailed vision spoken in prayer communicates conviction, and conviction is magnetic. When you pray with focus, you activate the law of alignment. Your mind, spirit, and energy begin to harmonize with the picture you hold in prayer. The clearer the image, the stronger the attraction, because your subconscious starts working toward it. Your faith builds around it, and the unseen laws of provision respond to it. For example, if you consistently pray with vision about financial increase, you will begin to notice opportunities that previously went unnoticed. Your mind becomes alert to possibilities that match the vision you have planted. Resources, ideas, and people who can help you achieve that goal seem to appear. Not because they were never there, but because your focused vision tuned you into their frequency. This is why prayer without vision often feels ineffective. It's not that the prayer is unheard, but that it lacks direction. A person without a vision is like a sailor without a compass. They may have wind and waves, but they drift aimlessly. Vision gives prayer its compass, ensuring that energy flows toward a specific manifestation. And as that vision is held firmly in faith, the unseen realm begins to arrange circumstances, remove obstacles, and deliver opportunities that align with it. Another dimension of focused prayer is emotional resonance. When you pray with vision, you don't just speak words, you imagine, feel, and embody the reality you are asking for. You see yourself already living in abundance, already experiencing freedom, already walking in provision. This emotional and spiritual alignment generates a vibration that draws similar vibrations from the universe, like attracts like, and prayer filled with vision and emotion attracts the experiences that mirror it. This is why people who pray with expectation often encounter rapid breakthroughs. They are not simply wishing, they are aligning themselves completely with the reality they desire. Focused prayer also helps eliminate distractions. When your vision is strong, you are less likely to accept things that do not align with it. You make wiser choices with your resources. You recognize what to say yes to and what to say no to. And you develop patience to wait for the right opportunities, rather than chasing every option that comes. This discipline itself creates room for the right blessings to enter, because the universe responds to intentionality. Finally, prayer with focus and vision sustains persistence. When results take time, a clear vision keeps you motivated and anchored, reminding you of the outcome that is certain. Without vision, delay can feel like denial. But with vision, delay is only preparation. Each time you pray, you water the seed of that vision, strengthening your magnetic pull for resources and opportunities. In time, the outer world begins to match the inner picture you have faithfully held. That is the power of prayer with focus and vision. It transforms your inner state into a magnet that attracts the very abundance you prayed for.